has finally turned 10 years old. Hooray! You can now move up to the 4th grade or 3rd grade, or however old you are when you go into either one of those grades. So, with it being the 10th anniversary of FNAF, and you know me, I'm obviously a part of this, like, whole fandom, and I love the series. Like, I've been a part of the whole FNAF craze since before the second game. I actually remember the first thing, cause just like everyone else, I, like, first experienced FNAF on YouTube. Like, I didn't have a computer or I didn't have like a gaming computer or like just a computer in general when I was little back in 2014. And my first experience, I'm sure this is just like everyone else's, is from YouTube. And surprisingly, it wasn't because of like Markiplier or Jacksepticeye or like any of them who like played the game, or like MatPat who made theories about it. And I remember vividly seeing their thumbnails on YouTube and being too scared to watch them, because something about it scared me. I wonder what. But I remember the first FNAF related thing I ever witnessed with my little old eyes was I, for the life of me, cannot find this video, but like, it was something like Luigi in Five Nights at Freddy's. And I don't know why, but like, that video scared me. Like, cause it actually, I remember having some kind of like, it had jump scares in it, because of course, and that scared the shit out of me. And I remember it scared me and I had nightmares about it. But something about it just made me so interested in the series. And I think that's what happened for a lot of kids and just a lot of people in general. And I think that's what helped make FNAF one of the most popular and fastest growing horror series just ever. I mean, like, back in like 2014, 2015, FNAF was kind of like an underground thing. Like, it had a pretty good fandom, but it wasn't like widespread like Resident Evil or anything like that. But in the year of our Lord of 2024, you cannot deny that, even if you hate the series, and understandable, but like, you cannot deny just how popular this thing has gotten. Like, you can't. And like, that's so exciting. Coming from a solo indie developer, who, I'm sure everyone knows this, FNAF was his last-ditch effort to make a game, it exploded. And it's like that dream of like, holy shit, like, I did it. And I just think that's cool. Like, no matter how shit a game is, like, when Security Breach first released, like, that game had some really good parts of it, like the daycare and like the endo part in the Music Man, and I really love the style of it. It was a disappointing game, and like, me and my brother played it at the exact same time, and he hated it and I was like, but by God, that game is just fun to do shit in. And I think that's just because I'm just very fond of the world that is Five Nights at Freddy's. It's just my thing. Like, I adore and it's not as scary as it used to be, and that is rapidly changing by what was announced like 2 days ago, and we'll talk about that here in a minute when I finally get off the side tangent. But what brought a lot of people to the series was that it seemed family friendly. Like, these weren't like blood-soaked killers. They're Chuck E. Cheese ass animatronics trying to kill you, and that's like a fascinating thing, because that's like it taps into that childhood fear, like those irrational fears you have. Like, at 3 a.m. your fucking your stack of clothes is a person, or like, just like going to Chuck E. Cheese and like, these fuckers kind of look creepy. Like, it's that type of thing. And the series isn't as scary as it is. It's just still so interesting. And that is, like, a part of it is the lore and how complicated and dumb shit this series is. Like, this series is overly complicated. But by God, it's that human thing of, like, it's hard, so let's fucking solve it. Like, let's figure it out. And I think that's really good. So, enough rambling. To celebrate the 10th anniversary of Five Nights at Freddy's, I just kind of wanted to talk about the series. I want to talk about all the stuff they announced this week for the, I guess, so-called anniversary week and whatever. But I also kind of wanted to talk about some of my just overall favorite memories from the series, and just like how it's just like grown up as I've grown up, which is kind of, it's pretty neat to experience. So I think the more topical thing right now is the stuff they've announced this week. So back on the first, let's step back there. If you don't know, back in like 2020 or 2021, Scott Cawthon announced the Fazbear Fanverse Initiative, which is pretty much just taking a bunch of the fan games that people had made about Five Nights at Freddy's, indoctorating them into the multiverse of the series, and just kind of producing them and making them actual games that everyone can play, and that aren't just on Game Jolt that will, destroy your computer with viruses. And, a few of them have released, like Fumpties. We don't really talk about that. Like those games, the guy, kind of a piece of shit, which is upsetting, but whatever. And, but the first, the redone major one that released on the 1st of August is My Pop Goes. Kind of like a supplementary mini-game type thing for the new Pop Goes game coming out. And, now, I haven't played this game because I still don't have, I have a computer, but not a computer for, gaming. I have a Mac. I don't really want to play games on a Mac because I don't really trust that. That's not really what a Mac's for. I'd much rather get, an actual gaming PC to do that. But, I've watched several videos. I've watched Docos and someone else's. I think it might have been 8-Bit Ryan's, but I'm not 100% sure. The game looks so cool. And it does get creepy and actual. And I like that it actually hid actual shit in it. That's not. I'm happy it's not just a mini game. And I love the style of it. It reminds me of a kind of like a Tamagotchi, where it's you have to take care of the little guy. And I'm about that. They look like happy little fellas in that game. And you know what? It's pretty neat. So, I'm trying to think. After that, I'm pretty certain that was the, on the 2nd, is when the Choose Your Own Adventure book came out. Fantastic idea for FNAf. And, I remember, I think the first one of those that had, gotten announced was the week before. Where it's the week before the FNAF 1, and then the Into the Pit one got announced, and then this one, VIP. I mean, this shit's popping up, but it's such a good idea. It a video game. You make your own choices, especially with the newer FNAF games being more open-ended, quote unquote. It's just a super cool idea, and I remember reading those little books as a kid of oh, you did this part, go to page 37 to continue the story. Whatever. I think that's pretty neat. I think that's a good idea. And then, and the fact that that one got released for free, that's just cool. I'm about that. And, so after that, I think it was the Joy of Creation Office demo. By God. This is the scariest thing that, is that FNAF has ever released. And it's kind of like that thing, it's a little edgy. FNAF 1 is scary from an uncanny aspect of oh, these guys are meant to be cartoony and fluffy little robots, but something about them kind of fucks with you. But the Joy Creation, that shit is scary, and it looks just visual wise, looks fantastic. And I remember I've watched the 8-Bit Ryan and Markiplier play through the old version of the game a billion times. I remember watching that so much as a kid, and seeing it now, and I think there was a little comparison between the two, just at least the models. Holy shit, like, Nixon locked in. And you know what? This one's taking a little bit longer. Like, this thing's been in development for like 3 years. Let them cook. Like, this shit is awesome, and I can't wait till when it comes to, like, console and everything. That will just be so cool. And then, what was after? Yeah, after that was the, 5 laps at Freddy's. Now, I don't, this has been getting shit on a lot, which is understandable. It doesn't really look the best right now, but I have a lot of hope. Like, I don't know why people think that this is the actual finished product. It's not. It's coming out much later this year, and maybe even at the beginning of 2025. But yeah, it's just, it has a lot of potential, and I enjoy the style. I really like the style. It's just not graphically that great yet, but I feel like it can be spruced up, and I think it will be. Like, as long as it can capture that Mario Kart thing of just like, because this is a Mario Kart clone, because it is, and if it can just capture that Mario Kart feeling of like, whenever you drift, you feel it, then it will be a success in my book. If it can capture that, like, kind of like rough feeling, but like still fun and like creative, I'm all about it. So going off of my horrible memory, I think that puts us to the 5th. Announcement day, collab day, and just like every other hopeful little soul, I thought it was Fortnite. More specifically, I thought it was going to be Fall Guys, because the big update for Fortnite that day was Fall Guys, and I figured, well, I think like Invincible's already in there, and yeah, like the costume in Fall Guys are kind of already like mascot suits, so I thought that would work tremendously. Like, I thought that would work so well. But, you know, I was wrong. It's Dead by Daylight, and holy fuck, is that so much better. I remember, it had to be, like, back in 2022 or 2021, maybe even last year, people really wanted FNAf and Dead by Daylight, and people had made, like, a bunch of concepts and whatever. It fits so well. I mean, it's just so cool, because Dead by Daylight's already like a chase type game where it's just like a survival game pretty much, and having FNAF in there, it makes all the sense in the world, and I'm very excited. Like, I've only played, because Dead by Daylight was on Xbox Game Pass for like 2 seconds one time, and I remember playing it with a few friends. I didn't really get much out of the game. Like, it's fun, but like, it's okay. But like, I'm super excited for it, and I'll definitely give it another try. And I'm hopeful that like, it's going to be the main 4 animatronics as the killers, which makes sense. I mean, they're the main 4 of the series. But like, you gotta put Springtrap in there, right? Like, that would be so cool. Like, that would just be awesome. And yeah, I'm very hopeful for that collab. And it's something fans have wanted, and like, I'm really stoked for it. So then after that, on the 6th, we got Steel Wool's announcement, and it's exactly what everyone thought. I actually thought it was going to be Help Wanted 2 DLC, because I remember somewhere they like made a thing where it was like, DLC is like maybe coming. I don't know. It's Carnival. It's the thing they hinted. It's not in the title or anything. Like, it's called Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic. It's not called Carnival. It takes place during a carnival. The Mimic looks like a clown, and everything looks like old and shit. And it takes place in 1979. Yeah, it's Carnival. Oh my god, the thing that they're hinting at came true. I can't believe it. But like, it looks pretty fucking good, visual wise. Now, I'm assuming that this is a teaser thing, but Steel Wool's teasers have never looked this good, and like, their teasers and stuff have always looked good. Like, I like the security breach trailers and stuff. Like, they look pretty neat, but no trailer has ever looked this good and this highly detailed, and I'm like, it kind of recaptures that old like gritty style that FNAF 1 had, and I'm just super psyched for it. I think it looks very, very good, and yeah, I'm like nothing else. I'm super excited. It's coming out in 2025, so it looks like I mean, who the fuck knows? There's a chance that we get Help Wanted 2 DLC this year, but who knows? But it looks like the only game coming out is what's it called? Into the Pit. And speaking of that, like, so after that announcement, the demo for Five Laps at Freddy's came out. Like I said, don't got a computer, haven't played the demo. It looks pretty neat. I'll be honest with you. But the Into the Pit game, that's the shit I'm talking about. That's how you do a spinoff. Like, that shit looks fantastic. And like, I once again haven't played it. I'm waiting for it to come out on the console or something like that. But it just looks so cool. Like, it's that old, and I don't know if any of you have watched the Scott Cawthon and Daco interview, like the newer one. This was just meant to be like a FNAF game you could get on a 16-bit cartridge, which was a super cool novelty. And then it just, like Security Breach, it just kind of exploded into more and more. And Scott was just like, you know, fuck it. They made a pretty goddamn good product, and like this is so cool, and I want them to continue. Like, I don't want every Fazbear Fright story. Some of them are shit. Like, let's be fair here. But ones like Fetch, or Bunny Call, or the Foxy one, like An Eye for an Arm or whatever. Step Closer is what it's called. I think that would work super cool as a game. And like, if not everyone needs to be turned into a game, because that would just kind of be bad. But I think some of them could really, like, I would love a game of the FNAF trilogy, like the FNAF book trilogy, like the original one. I think that would work so well. And yeah, in the interview he said that like he wants them to start working on Fetch. I'm about it. Like, this is how you do this type of shit. Like, you have the fan games coming out, and then like the 16-bit games coming out, just kind of fill the void of the main releases. That's fine. That's perfect. That works. Give them time to cook, like the main games. And in between all this, we've been getting little sprinkles of like teasers. The first one was just like Mangle's vertebrae, pretty much. We got things like Toy Bon's eyes, and endoskeleton, and Toy Chica's like face mold. Pretty cool. I'm quite excited for the second film. I wasn't super in love with the first one, but it's still so cool that it finally happened, and I will see it. Like, no shit. But yeah, I just think that it's so cool that they're going FNAF 2. Like, that's what everyone wanted. Like, we want to see these characters on the big screen, and that's just neat. And I think, like, I have no fear that the Jim Henson Creature Shop will perform and make these animatronics just look, or these puppets or whatever, look very good. Like, no worries there. So now that we got all that new stuff out of the way, let's get a little sentimental. Like I said, first experience, just like everyone else, was on YouTube, and I fell in love with the series. And I think I've bought at least every game on mobile like 3 times. I think I've owned all of them at one point. I have I've bought them all on mobile at least twice, and then I have all the games up to Pizza Sim on my Nintendo Switch, because games like that, I feel like it works perfect for the Switch for some reason, not like an Xbox or whatever. But I'm super happy now. Like, the console versions are like, they're not as good. Like, these are PC games, but like, ain't that bad. And you know, I've played Help Wanted on the VR several times. I got the console version too, and you know, I really want the problem with FNAF VR for me is that I can't justify spending $400 on a console for one game. Like, I just can't. when my other console, the Xbox, can play it. And like FNAF works fantastic in VR, and you can't tell me it doesn't, because it does. It looks lovely, but yeah, I just can't get behind it. I mean, maybe like I love FNAF VR, it's so cool, but I just can't justify spending that much money on a console with the hopes of there a new game coming out. But when the flat mode comes out, I'll play it, but like I'll be sad. That's not in VR, but whatever. And then back when I found out about the series, I mean, I think I binged Markiplier's shit on it, like his original gameplay of it and whatever. And I just fell more and more in love. I remember getting the first novel when it came out, and I got this super like cheesy looking FNAF bookmark at Books A Million with it. I guess it was free or something, and I just have so many good memories associated with this series. And while it can be a headache sometimes, like with the lore and the community, like I do like the community. They do some awesome shit. They're also crybabies about things. Like I get being upset, but like some things just aren't that serious. Like, you know what I mean? But I do love this this fandom, and like they're all great. Like most of them are great, and they make really awesome things. And I think that's so cool how Scott Cawthon has literally inspired the next generation of creators and like creative people. And like I draw FNAF characters all the time, just like doodling and shit, just because I know how. I can like just to, like not fall asleep in class. But it's just a very heartwarming thing. And I don't know if I've said this in any other video, but I love FNAF so much that I have written a it's like a 20-page script of it, and it's done. Thankfully, the new game is not coming out this year, but it's like a 20-page script of everything, all the lore in order. And I'm very excited to make that. Like, that has been in production for almost a year. I started it right before, at the beginning of October, before the before the first film came out. And like that's not coming out this year. Like that's not coming out this year. I'm gonna work on that in the background and stuff. But I'm very excited, and I hope you guys are too, because I'm not like, I'm smart, and surprisingly, I know, but I understand a lot of the FNAF stuff, like the lore and everything. So I think that like I can just put it out there, because there's some ideas that differ from a lot of stuff that's already been said. Like trying to think of an example. I said that the FNAF 2 location is not a new location. It is just the reopening of the original Freddy Fazbear's, because it's the grand reopening. Now that differs from like things MatPat has said and whatever, but that's the whole point. That FNAF incites conversation, argument, like differences, and that's cool. And I just, all in all, I love the series. Like, some of the games might be I might not like Security Breach as much as I wish I did, but I love the series. No matter what, I'll always be here for it. And I think that's good. That means the job has been done, and that you have people who love it. So with that said, I think we should get to the outro now.